We had a skiff of snow this morning, which is basically the kind of snow that I really like. It comes and it goes, and it doesn't really leave an impact. Unlike what happened here a couple days ago. Winter Storm Fern reached the manor, and it's been a pain. As you can see, I never did clean off my front porch. I'm not planning on ordering anything that would need to be delivered, so I figured, why bother? It'll melt, and it is melting. The snow bothers Deuce too. He can't really get out there and run and play. He ends up being restricted to where I have plowed with the tractor. Come on, let's go. Come on. We can't go for very long walks because it's been way too cold. Go on. It's a whopping 30 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is a whole lot warmer than what it was when I climbed on the John Deere and got what snow I could off the driveway. Good old John Deere. I need to get with my cousin down the lane and have him grease the fittings on the loader, because I worked it pretty hard. And you can see that scraping the snow up into a snow pile, I piled it all where when it melts, my gravel will still be there and I can spread the gravel out. Wintertime is a slow time. There's not much to do outside if it doesn't snow. We can walk the dog and look around and we make plans, but we can't really do much that doesn't involve firewood. I think today I get a little bit of a respite on the firewood. That's my biggest holly tree. And looking over, the snow is starting to melt off the roof finally. But as I was saying, I get a little bit of a respite on dealing with the firewood. The house faces south, and with that big bow window, the great room will heat up, and the heat pump might run once or twice, but more than likely it won't. Wintertime, this winter especially, and with this snow, I've been thinking about winter mindset. What's your mindset about winter? Do you let it get to you? Do you let it depress you? Or do you take the opportunity to step back and maybe think about what spring will be like? Do you look around? Do you find beauty in the snow? Because the manor is beautiful in the snow, with all the trees and the shadows. So I'm trying to decide what kind of mindset. Should I have an impatient mindset? Impatient for spring? Should I sit back and relax? Should I catch up on my reading? Should I consider my canine companion here, who just takes every day as it comes? Come on. Come on, baby. Another pile of snow that when it melts, the gravel will be right where I need it. The garden, sitting there patiently waiting for spring and for me. Don't know if you can see the paths down through there. That's from the deer. Look out through the woods and I can see where they've been. I see where the snow is all torn up, where they've been digging, probably for acorns. Oh, did snow removal, and it was cold. And even though it's warmed up a little bit today, there you can see where deer have come across. They've really been down in there working. Don't know if I can pick that up or not. But where that snow is disturbed, that's all from the deer. Kind of feel sorry for them out in the cold. But there again, that's nature. I have plans to share with you in future videos about the garden, about some things I'd like to do. You're going to fall through and hurt yourself. He can walking out on there. What are you doing, Deuce? Well, let's go inside where it's warm and let's talk a little bit about winter mindset and retirement mindset. Welcome to Holly Tree Manor. We had a little skiff of snow this morning, and it's the kind of snow that I like. Just a little dusting. It's here, it's gone. Say goodbye. It's not like the snowstorm we had about almost a week ago. That snow left us with 5 inches of snow topped by 2 inches of sleet. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about mindset. What's your mindset? When we have something like a big snowstorm, do you go into crisis mode? Or do you set your mind to be able to sit back, watch it snow, enjoy the snow, and worry about the cleanup later? That's what I set my mind to. My mindset was, oh, it's snowing. Oh, it's pretty. I stayed inside. I read a book, played on the computer some, watched some television some, fed the wood stove quite a bit because it was cold. I mean, we were down into single digits. So I kept feeding the wood stove quite a bit. But my mindset was, this snowstorm is not going to become a crisis for me. Yes, it's snowing, but I did all my preps. I had the generator ready. I had plenty of food, shelf-stable food in the house. I had plenty of dog food and cat food. I wasn't going to let it become a crisis. I set my mind to enjoying it, and I did. I even set my mind to enduring the cold when it was done snowing and I had to go out and get on the John Deere tractor and start plowing my lane open. I set my mind to the fact that I would just dress warm and I would be okay. and I would get the job done. And that's what happened. I made the decision. I was not going to whine about it. It was something that needed to be done, and I was going to be the one to do it. So what was your mindset? Your mindset makes all the difference in the world. It really, truly does. If you set your mind that you are going to conquer whatever problem is in front of you, then you can do it. If you set your mind that that the snowstorm is going to kill you, well, you were probably pretty miserable for a few days. Excuse me. When I retired, I made up my mind that I was going to enjoy being retired. Well, things haven't worked out quite the way I planned because 18 months in, my husband died. That was nowhere near the plan. But after it occurred and I kind of got back on my feet a little bit, I set my mind to having the best retirement that I can possibly have. And I live in that every day. I set my mind to make peace with the fact that I was now living on my own. And I set my mind to make the best of every opportunity that came my way. If I hadn't made that decision, I think I would be pretty miserable. And miserable is pretty far from where I am. I'm just not. Not being miserable is a mindset. I set my mind that I was going to live within my means. I do that. I don't sit and worry about how am I going to pay my bills, because I live within my means. That's what I set my mind to do, and that's what I do. Now I'm very fortunate. You know, I have pension from my job, so I know I'm very fortunate in that. But I set my mind that I was not going to do that to myself. I was not going to let myself go down into debt and be miserable. Mindset. For me, it's almost that easy. I think about something and I make up my mind that this is what I'm going to do. And I try to think ahead, like for the snowstorm. Just thinking ahead. I have to have the generator ready to go. I have to have gas for the generator. I have to have the snow shovel over here. I have to have my vehicles parked in a certain way so that when I get on the tractor, they're not in the way. When it stops snowing, I have to get on the tractor and I have to go out there and I have to work. I have to do the work. It really is all about setting your mind to doing what you have to do. It's also setting your mind to not doing the things that will be harmful to you. If you're worried about what you're going to do in retirement, if you think you're going to be bored, set your mind that you're going to find things that interest you. Make up your mind that you're going to stay in touch with people, that you're going to make occasion to see people, and you won't be lonely. Sometimes, if you're part of a church community, that might be a little bit easier, but that's not the only way. I reconnected, actually, through Facebook, reconnected with old friends from high school. And that's worked out pretty well. They're like me, when they were working, they simply didn't have time or energy to do a whole lot of socializing. They went to work, they came home, they took care of the spouse in the house, went to bed, got up the next morning and did it all over again. That was my life for over 30 years. That was their life. But I made up my mind I was going to connect with them. And I was going to do my best, my very, very best, to nourish those relationships. That was my mindset. I'm going to nourish those relationships. If that really does sound simplistic, I know. But I think you can do it. I think it's important to do. I think how you approach things makes all the difference in the world. You hear it. Think positive. Well, yes, think positive. Set your mind to think positive. Set your mind to not go into a negative headspace. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's where I am in my life, in my retirement. I'm thinking positive. I'm looking for all the good things that I have in my life. I have a home that's paid for. I have my 2 dependable vehicles. I have friends. I have a dog. I love my dog. I love my cat. My family is nearby. These are all things for me to be grateful for and to count as blessings. I don't want that to sound like it's overly religious, but for me that's how I look at it. I have gratitude for it, and I think they're blessings, and that too is a mindset. I think you can be grateful without being overly religious. You can just be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, and try not to sit and moan about what you don't have. If there is something that you don't have and you think you need, take a step back and develop a plan as to how you can get this thing that you need. If you need a new car, sit down, make a plan, figure out what it is you actually need to do to be able to get this new car. Set your mind to taking those steps so that you can obtain the goal. Simplistic? Yes. Easy in execution? Maybe not. But if you do that sort of execution enough times, it gets easier. You start to think in that mindset. Your first thought's not going to be, oh dear, I want a new car, but that's never going to happen. No, if you start in the mindset of what can I do to make this happen, you get into that with almost everything. At least I did. That was what worked for me. What do I need to do to achieve this goal? I had to stop and think about it. There's no instant gratification. Instant gratification is stopping at the Dairy Queen for a blizzard. That's instant gratification. Other things in life don't happen that fast. But I know that if you set your mind in a positive mindset, I think you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in your retirement. Do I always take my own advice? I try. Do I always succeed? No, not always. I mean, there's a couple of things, right now that I'm struggling with. One of which is I have a manuscript that if I ever get this thing finished, it's going to be a miracle. See, there it is. I don't have the mindset that I've got to get this done, and I will get this done. I'm not quite sure why I can't get there. I'm working on that in my head. I'm working on that, trying to figure out what it is that's holding me back. Once I figure out what's holding me back, I can accomplish it. But I have to stop and think about these things. And that's mindset. You have to have the mindset that you're going to take a step back. You're going to think, you're going to examine what's going on, and you're going to figure it out. If you just go, oh, well, that's it. That project's over with. That's done. And if you want to leave it half finished, okay, that's you. That's not me. I want to work on myself to get it, to accomplish what I started. So think about your mindset. Think about having that positive mindset. Think about doing what you need to do to enjoy your retirement, whether you're alone or with someone, whether you're living with your children. It's all about your mindset as you approach every day. I think you can do it. I can do it. I've done it. It's constant work, but it's doable. So I hope that I can encourage you to do that, to find the right mindset in your life, the mindset that works for you, which won't be the same as what works for me. You have to talk to yourself in the language that you understand, just like I talk to myself in the language I understand. But take the time to figure that out. I encourage you to do that. And I encourage you to actively take a positive mindset. Forget about the negative stuff. Forget about the things that you cannot change, and learn to be at peace with what you cannot change. My husband is gone. I cannot change that. So I need to be at peace with that. And that's where I am. It might have been a little hard won in the beginning, but that's the way it is. Can't change it. Can't go back. Can't change a thing. All I can do is look forward every day and find something positive in every day. So that's about all the encouragement that I can offer anyone. Thanks for stopping by the Manor today and listen to me ramble on. I will say, if you would, like and subscribe. Subscribe to the video, help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. It will help. So stay safe and look for joy in all that you do. Thank you.